This is the Small Business Report, powered by PNC Bank. Your weekly access to all the tools you need to succeed. Stay tuned for expert advice from business owners, subject matter experts, and government agencies. Each week, you'll learn tips on how to start, grow, and finance your business. The Small Business Report is supported by the DC Small Business Development Center, a partnership program nationally accredited by the Association of America's SBCDs and funded in part by the U.S. Small Business Administration, Howard University, with Howard University serving as the network's headquarters. Stay tuned. Coming up next, your host, Carl Brown, State Executive Director of the District of Columbia Small Business Development Center.
Hi, this is Jermaine Johnson, Regional President for PNC Bank. At PNC, we believe that we play an important role in building strong, vibrant, more self-reliant communities. Our responsibility to help drive meaningful change has never felt more important than in this moment. Visit pnc.com/diversity to learn more. The PNC Financial Services Group, Inc., all rights reserved.
Every 14 seconds, someone, somewhere, learns they have breast cancer, the most commonly diagnosed cancer worldwide. The Breast Cancer Research Foundation unites the best minds in science. A global team collaborating across disciplines and pursuing their boldest ideas. The scientists we support have been involved in every major breakthrough in breast cancer research. Our progress can be measured in millions of survivors. By investing in every aspect of breast cancer research, we're deepening our understanding of how cancer begins and why it sometimes spreads. Only with your help can we maintain our progress. Only by saving research now can we save lives tomorrow.
You know your body, and you know when something's off, when something doesn't feel quite right. Don't ignore symptoms like fatigue, joint pain, rashes, and fever. They could be signs of lupus. Listen to your body. Take care of yourself. We're here to help you take control of your health. Learn how at BeFierceTakeControl.org. Brought to you by the Lupus Foundation of America and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Welcome to the Small Business Report here on Sirius XM Channel 141. And this is your boy Carl Brown. And today I have some extraordinary guests. And we're going to be talking about some innovative, creative ways to do business on the world stage right now. So this segment is brought to you by PNC Bank. Always try and use them, try and become a member. PNC is one of the best banks out here, and they will help you in your business. Today we're going to be talking about Icar Business. This company was created as a game changer, a disruptor, based on the core realization that the next generation of successful businesses would need to shift their thinking and balance the wealth creation with social responsibility to elevate the world. So I'm looking forward to interviewing Miss Seanne Murray and Mario Diel. Seanne Murray is the president and CEO, and Mario Diel is the founder of the company. And they have a very, very innovative approach to running this business and managing it. So stay tuned. The Small Business Report will be right back after these messages.
Hi, this is Jermaine Johnson, Regional President for PNC Bank. At PNC, we believe that we play an important role in building strong, vibrant, more self-reliant communities. Our responsibility to help drive meaningful change has never felt more important than in this moment. Visit pnc.com/diversity to learn more. The PNC Financial Services Group, Inc., all rights reserved.
Dealing with car repairs can feel like a lose-lose situation. The hassle, the headaches, the cost, it's just too much. That's why I called CarShield. They're helping me save time and money. It's a win-win. CarShield's administrators make everything super easy. They handle the paperwork and expensive payments so I don't have to. CarShield saves me thousands and I get to choose the mechanic to do the work. CarShield's administrators take care of the rest. Plans from CarShield even provide coast-to-coast roadside assistance, rental coverage, and trip reimbursement, all at no additional charge. CarShield has monthly coverage options to fit your budget, and they've helped over 1 million drivers. CarShield is a win-win. They help get me back on track when I'm in a pinch, and I'm not on the hook to pay thousands. Get coverage today and see why CarShield cars go farther. Visit carshield.com/report to save 10%. That's carshield.com/report. A deductible may apply.
Hello, this is Carl Brown, host of the Small Business Report on SiriusXM Channel 141, HUR Voices. Every Thursday at noon, we bring you the stories of small business owners and subject matter experts that can help you start, grow, or sustain your business. Please be sure to tune in every Thursday at noon on SiriusXM Channel 141, HUR Voices to hear the Small Business Report. Welcome back to the Small Business Report here on SiriusXM Channel 141. And as I promised you, I was going to have some innovative and creative business people on here today to talk about an innovative philosophy that is going to be a game changer on a global scale. We have Seanne Murray and Mario Diel from IKAR. And Sean is the CEO of IKAR Sports and Entertainment, and Mario is the founder. So you can't get any better than this. And this is a global company headquartered out of London. And I say proudly, Seanne Murray is a Howard graduate. So welcome to the show, Sean and Mario. Thank you for being on the Small Business Report.
It's you know.
You know.
Yes. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Sean, ladies first, why don't you introduce yourself to the audience? Tell them, a little bit about your background and your vision for IKAR Sports and Entertainment.
Sure. My background is business, finance, and law. As you mentioned, I went to Howard University and Temple Law School. I grew up in Connecticut. I come from a legacy in the entertainment business of Motown and a legacy in the business of education, also in Detroit through the Michigan Institute of Child Development. Mario and I and the IKAR philosophy are aligned in a way that I've never been aligned with an individual or company ever before. It's my dream come true, that thing that I was hoping was real somewhere out there. And I did believe in it, and it came. And there's a lot to be said for that. And my philosophy about life is doing everything that I can to make the world a better place and making money while doing it. And that's what IKAR's philosophy is as well, focusing always on doing good and recognizing that you can do good through business, and through business acumen and business strategy, and not focus on, being a nonprofit to do good things, but really focus on our experience and our acumen as business people to create not only a profitable business, but a world that is more livable, I would say, more livable and more loving for all people around the world. And that's a big thing too, the fact that we are a global company. We're not a New York company with offices in London. We're a London offices, a company with offices around the world. And it's truly global and diverse in a way that I certainly have never seen or experienced before.
Oh, yeah. I was on the website and I love the diversity that is represented on the website, and it's a beautiful thing. And like you said, use your money to help mankind. So Mario, please introduce yourself, because you are a very, very accomplished person, and you have been around in the business community for many years and have done a lot of successful things with your businesses. So please let the audience know who you are.
Sure, it's my pleasure. Good morning, Carl, and it's a big pleasure being in your show. So let me talk at first a little bit about my background, and after we come also to Icar. I'm German by birth, so nobody is perfect. I apologize. I come from a poor background, so more or less I really did everything on my own. And in the young age of 22, I realized I'm a natural born entrepreneur. So I found my first company in Germany in 1991. And then a couple of years later, I had already suddenly a group of more than 30 companies, a couple of thousand people working for me, was Entrepreneur of the Year. And then I realized Germany and the surrounding countries is not enough for me. I want to really look more on a global scale. So I sold all my companies, went to New York, because by chance I met an American gentleman who was at that time the biggest oil trader in the world. And I said myself, Mario, that's exactly what you want. Until you are 30, you will become a billionaire. So I sold my companies, went to New York, and started oil trading together with this gentleman on a global scale. This I did until 2000, because my partner passed then away. And in the meantime, I was going from the United States to Turkey by chance. When you're an entrepreneur, you're always very opportunistic. And I was always looking myself as a global citizen and not a German. So I fell in love with Turkey and set up my business, the oil business at that time in Turkey. But we were buying mostly our oil products in Russia and similar countries like that. Then, as said, my partner passed away in 2000, and I switched from oil to other commodity tradings, which was especially electricity and a little bit gas in the region of Turkey, because it became a privatized market. I established then one of the biggest, if not the biggest, electricity trading company in the region. Had other investments on top, because I was always, as I said, an opportunistic entrepreneur and investor. And then in end of 2016, because it was always my life goal, when I'm 50, I don't want to work anymore, I sold all my companies, bought myself a house on a Greek island, and thought for the next 50 years, I will just enjoy my life, playing tennis with my dog and drinking ouzo. But a couple of months later, I realized that was a very bad decision, because when you are working like crazy for 30 years and realizing that at the end entrepreneurship and working is really what makes me the most happy, then I realized, I said, it was a little bit of a crazy decision, and I decided to make something new and even much more bigger, and not just by money, by scale and by impact, which was then the starting of Icar, and I will talk about Icar a little bit later.
And a lot of people want to live on a Greek island. Believe me, I want to live on a Greek island.
And by the way, Mario's dog's name is Rambo, so he's the one that gets all the pleasures of life on the Greek island.
So yes. So and you returned, Mario. You returned at a very interesting time in the middle of a pandemic. Many businesses put their plans on hold, but you didn't. Why? What was the advantage you saw that many others didn't?
I mean, of course, before the COVID and pandemic had started, I was already ready to go into the market with my overall concept. But when it was actually really 1 month after I made my first presentation of the company public, because I went to New York, I wanted to show the investment world what they are thinking about my concept, and the feedback was very positive. So exactly a month later in March, COVID came. And then I thought that this is an unbelievable chance, because I thought this is something which will not last just for a couple of weeks, which will last longer. And I believed already at that time, it will change the mindset of a lot of people, and especially older and experienced and successful people, because in a way the people will realize, and I was then very right, that you are realizing suddenly, you are a very rich guy, you are sitting maybe in a super villa, but you are sitting alone there. you have no friends, you have no family, because your whole life you were only concentrating on success, always in hamster wheels. There's maybe a smaller or bigger hamster wheel, but somehow we are all, including myself, that this pandemic will change our mindset and also how we are looking into life. That was the first. The second was, I realized very quickly, because now everybody is talking in video conferences, that you can take the whole world into your room, into your computer, and it will be much more easier to set up a global group because of the pandemic. I mean, you can really meet everybody through video. You can easily contact with people, and it's not like before. Before you have to say, okay, I want to meet you. You have to fly to New York, which takes already a couple of weeks, if not months, to organize. Then you meet, you like each other, and then normally, based on history, you would say, okay, let's meet in 2-3 months again. Now, in this time, I can say, I would say 99% of the people which are today in IKAR, I had maybe maximum 2 Zoom calls. And after the second Zoom call, they were in. Or if let's say if I didn't like them to join me, then of course not. If they joined IKAR, it took maximum 2 Zoom calls. And then I say, wow, this is unbelievable. So it was exactly reflecting my vision with IKAR to set up on the one side something very global from the beginning, to bring the best people together, to bring people from all parts of society, because when you look today, who is IKAR, as Sean talked a little bit already about it, you have really people with a military background, you have an entrepreneurial background, executive background, you have people from the sports world, entertainment. So it's reflecting all parts of society, and I'm even overwhelmed myself that this was possible.
Oh yeah, I mean it's with all of what's going on in many parts of the world, we're talking about a great resignation, especially in America, where people are just quitting in record numbers, quitting their jobs. So, it's a different world that we're living in right now. So what is the philosophy behind IKAR?
I mean,
can I just interject one thing? I just want to get to IKAR too, but I just want to say, Carl, because I think it's important for people to recognize that, that the pandemic was a catalyst. It was either a catalyst in one way or another, depending on how you chose to live. And the reason that Mario and I are here today is because of the pandemic. And, I made a concerted effort when we were really on high lockdown here. I literally made a conscious decision that I'm going to expand my global reach. And I did it. And I did it through, I met people that live in Africa, that own music companies and things like that I would have never met. And Mario and I initially met actually on a platform, which I, funny enough, can't even remember the name of it right now, but it's a woman from Bahrain who put together this platform for investors and entrepreneurs. And typically they meet on a regular basis in the Middle East, in Dubai, Bahrain, et cetera. And to Mario's point, it went completely online. So, I was, here in Arizona at 3:00 in the morning, up and dressed on a Zoom call, meeting people literally from all over the world. And that would have never happened. And I think it's important for people to recognize that time was a huge opportunity, and people are going to look back on it. It's either going to be a huge opportunity or it's going to be a missed opportunity.
Absolutely.
So I think that's important.
Let's go to break right now. This is the Small Business Report. We'll be right back after these messages.
It's Madison, the Black Eagle.
This is Karen Hunter.
This is Clay King.
Al Sharpton.
Hey, it's Lauren Coates.
Hey, this is Godfrey. Sirius XM.
Urban View.
1, 2, 6.
Urban View is where Americans get to see what America is supposed to look like.
We are free to express our opinion as long as they're honest.
From sunup till sundown.
All are welcome, but be careful if you come in, because your life might be changed.
I'm super excited to be able to engage folks.
And that's what's happening right now. review. Keep it real.
Channel 126.
Dealing with car repairs can feel like a lose-lose situation. The hassle, the headaches, the cost, it's just too much. That's why I called CarShield. They're helping me save time and money. It's a win-win. CarShield's administrators make everything super easy. They handle the paperwork and expensive payments so I don't have to. CarShield saves me thousands, and I get to choose the mechanic to do the work. CarShield's administrators take care of the rest. Plans from CarShield even provide coast-to-coast roadside assistance, rental coverage, and trip reimbursement, all at no additional charge. CarShield has monthly coverage options to fit your budget, and they've helped over 1 million drivers. CarShield is a win-win. They help get me back on track when I'm in a pinch, and I'm not on the hook to pay thousands. Get coverage today and see why CarShield cars go farther. Visit carshield.com/report to save 10%. That's carshield.com/report. A deductible may apply.
Tune in to The Skin Deep Show with host Seanne Morton as she engages your senses and examines the issues affecting Black skin and its treatment in every facet of life, from beauty, health, and wellness to social injustice and mass incarceration. It's a show designed to stimulate your mind, body, and soul. Don't miss it. The Skin Deep Show, every Friday at 5:30 p.m. and Sunday at 4:30 p.m. on SiriusXM Channel 141 HUR Voices.
Welcome back to the Small Business Report here on SiriusXM Channel 141, powered by PNC Bank. We have Sean Murray and Mario Diel on, and we had a fantastic conversation going on by Sean just before the commercial break. But I just want to say, hey, Sean, you've been a successful businesswoman with various activities in different business fields. Why did you join Icar and become a partner of Mario's?
Sure. I kind of indicated it a little earlier. It's that Icar is everything that I've been looking for and hoping for in terms of synergy that completely aligns with my life mission. And Mario and I, we work together. We're friends. We're partners. Like we're having fun every single day. We're having fun doing what we're doing. And we're both really high energy people. And for us, building a business is fun, and particularly when there's a mission. And I think that's something that probably more people are looking for these days. I've definitely always looked for it. And in some ways, that's why, even in my early days of practicing law and things like that, I just thought it was boring and I didn't know what the purpose was. And so I kind of moved from those things, always in search of something, really defining my own purpose, but also moving towards companies that have a purpose. And, you mentioned earlier about the number of people in the United States that are quitting their jobs. And I got to tell you, that's the reason why. People are looking at all kinds of other reasons as to why they're quitting. They're quitting because what's the point? And so if you joined a company, you don't feel like you're actually part of building something. In our case, we're building both a company and making a difference, but at least be part of building something that you align with in some way. What is the point? And I think we have gotten into this automated world that is, in some ways, we're moving into the metaverse, and in other ways, I think this automated world has devolved us into where we are, and people are looking for purpose. And Icar very clearly represents, purpose for humanity, purpose for connection, purpose for a global vision, purpose for creating something that is a long-lived legacy. And me having come from a family of legacy and legends, that is important to me. And I think I mentioned briefly before that my family created Motown. My aunt is the co-founder of Motown. She signed Stevie Wonder. She taught Smokey Robinson musical theory. She created the publishing company that was sold to Motown. And her sister, my grandmother, created the Michigan Institute for Child Development in Detroit, Michigan, and had 7 campuses. And my triple great grandfather was buried in his Union Army uniform. He actually was part of the Light Guard that guarded Abraham Lincoln and he educated all the Black kids in West Virginia and was the first Black man nominated to be governor of West Virginia. So that's, I represent legacy. And fortunately, I've partnered with someone now who recognizes, that legacy that I bring, recognizes the talent and gifts and education that I have, and has partnered with me. We partnered together to build a legacy that is going to go into the future and without a doubt is going to make a huge difference in the world in many areas.
And like you said, a lot of people are quitting because the why is not there. Why I'm going to this job and why I'm not doing something else. And at the Small Business Development Center that I manage, we are seeing those folks. I mean, record numbers of people are coming into my shop to learn how to start and grow and develop their small businesses. So this is right on point. And believe me, listening to your heritage and your legacy, I can't say anything but thank you. Thank you for all that you are doing, you and Mario. So, Mario, it's a revolutionary idea, the humicorn. How does it differ from the better known unicorn?
I mean, first of all, for us, the main focus is really the human. And we are a game changer in a way that we try also to change a little bit the system. The system in a way that when you look to our leadership, it's not only super diversified and representing people from around the globe. Intentionally, our leadership is all, and don't get me now wrong, Sean, but you know what I mean, but the leadership is all 50 years plus, the majority. And then on the other side, when it comes on to the operational side, we have very young people, which are in their 20s. So we have very less people in their 40s or so, because I think that's, again, another generation. So what we are saying is, on the one side, you have, on the leadership level, you have this, let's say, very experienced people from their business, but also life, and they're looking also to life different. And then on the other side, you have the very young people, which I call in a way also they are virgin about their life and also their business life. Because one other, or even I would say the biggest impact, what we want to do is to support these young people, and we come in a minute also to this, our initiative with 1 million future leaders. So what is the differentiator between a unicorn and a humicorn? There are several reasons. First of all, I was not liking that everybody is focusing today only on technology, including the investors. This is, in my opinion, completely wrong. Of course, we need technology, but whatever you are talking about, and when you talk especially about impact and all this kind of stuff, it's not about to make another 1 million trees somewhere. This is all important. But the biggest impact is the people, the human itself. That's the impact. That's where you have to invest. And when I looked into a unicorn and the valuation of a unicorn, and it's all about technology, then I said, no, IKAR is not about this. Of course, we will have maybe investments in technology, but the capital of IKAR is and will be always the human itself. The second thing was that, as I said, the society, and not only the investors, the whole society is only focusing on the youth. It's all great. But we have not to forget, when you are young, you are maybe full of energy, but you are not full of experience. And this is exactly what we have. But the society is telling you, who are 50 and older, prepare yourself already for the retirement, which is so stupid. Sorry, I'm 54 years now old. I may be more physically fitter than ever. I'm at least mentally fitter than ever. I have all this experience, and now I should think about my retirement, which, by the way, I tested for a couple of months and realized it is bullshit. Now imagine all these people around the globe. There's so many unbelievable people in my age and older who have so much experience and still full of power, and I want to do something, but the society is telling, no, you are not longer value, which is, in my opinion, completely nonsense. So I said, we have to create not a unicorn, we are a humicorn, because we are based on human capital. And if because our vision is, of course, much more unicorns will follow. It's not just a marketing gag or tool from us. No, we want to create really a new industry with this and saying, look, if you have because if you want to found a humicorn, you have to have a certain age, you have to have a certain experience, and very important, from the beginning, you have to say, whatever you do, it has to have also an impact arm. And this is, at the end, the main thing of the unicorn. We want to motivate older people to bring all their knowledge, because we believe that at the end, for the betterment of the world, you need also the young people. But I believe that more value can come from people like us, just because we have much more experience, and also we are looking different to life. When I'm 23, I'm just looking how I can make my first million to buy me the Porsche, Ferrari, and all these kind of things. Now in my age, I know that this is all not interesting at all. I'm looking to in a totally different kind of way to world, to life, and also to business. And this is also what we had brought together. And even when you see now Seanne and me, we are, some people say you are a startup, then yeah, we are like the oldest startup maybe in the world. But on the other side, although we have this age, we are full of energy. I mean, you have to stop us because either you ask her or me, we can talk hours, because we are full of energy and motivation. And you cannot stop us because we are so fascinated. We are entrepreneurs by heart. And this will end when we are going, maybe in 50 years later, we go to another world. But until this time, we will be always like this. And this is entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm. Well, and this is normal. And actually, you just reminded me of something, Mario, that I don't think I ever even shared with you. My parents were born in 1944, so they're 70 something. I don't know how, whatever it is. And I mean, but my parents actually own 2 Harley Davidson dealerships. One that is the 3rd largest in the country. And I just realized, Mario, I never shared that with you. But the reason I'm sharing it with you now is because as I'm listening to you, to us talk about entrepreneurship, and it never crossed my mind that when I turned 50, I was going to be retiring. Like I've never actually even said that word, and I never once heard that word in my life growing up, ever. Yeah. I mean, my parents, what my parents are doing is they're living, like retire and do what? And I think if you're all about retirement, probably you're doing something you never really wanted to do in the first place. And that is definitely not my style, and certainly not Mario's style. We're going to continue living, actually doing what we want to do. And if you're doing that, why in God's name would you want to retire from doing something that you love?
Exactly. Exactly. That's what I say every day. But look, we got to go to commercial. So we'll be right back after these messages. You're listening to the Small Business Report here on Sirius XM Channel 141.
Hi, this is Jermaine Johnson, Regional President for PNC Bank. At PNC, we believe that we play an important role in building strong, vibrant, more self-reliant communities. Our responsibility to help drive meaningful change has never felt more important than in this moment. Visit pnc.com/diversity to learn more. The PNC Financial Services Group, Inc., all rights reserved.
Hey, Small Business Report listeners, are you a small or mid-sized business? Let BDPAtoday.com help you leverage emerging technologies and digital innovations to transform your business.
BDPAtoday.com will highlight your organization's innovations, solutions, and success stories. Let BDPAtoday.com publish your branded videos, blogs, and photos to a national tech industry audience and assist with your awareness building campaign. With BDPAtoday.com, you can network with qualified and certified tech professionals and get access to developers, gamers, hackers, and interns to join your team for short or long-term projects.
Visit BDPAtoday.com for true digital transformation that will drive competitive advantage to your organization.
That's BDPAtoday.com.
Hello, this is Carl Brown, host of the Small Business Report on Sirius XM Channel 141, HUR Voices. Every Thursday at noon, we bring you the stories of small business owners and subject matter experts that can help you start, grow, or sustain your business. Please be sure to tune in every Thursday at noon on Sirius XM Channel 141, HUR Voices, to hear the Small Business Report. Welcome back to the Small Business Report here on Sirius XM Channel 141. This is Carl Brown, your host, and I got Sean Murray and Mario Diel from Icar. And let me tell you, folks, this conversation is blowing my socks off. I just cannot believe it. Seanne has dropped some knowledge on her family and gone back to founding Motown and her parents having Harley Davidson franchises. I mean, this is just fantastic. And Mario is talking about, why retire, and I believe him. Believe me, why retire? I got a lot of knowledge in my head I want to pass on before I pass on. So I'm bringing Mario back. It seems we've always prioritized money, the billion-dollar valuation over people. What was the insight that you had that caused you to redefine the way forward?
I mean, first of all, because due to my experience as an entrepreneur since more than 30 years, and I had found more than 100 companies in my life, exited them, what I learned is you can always find money. It's very easy to find money. Actually, there's even more money existing than good projects. Most of people thinking there's more projects but not enough money. It's exactly the opposite around. But when you look to startup companies, most of them, they're not struggling because they have a problem with the money. They had always a problem with the management and especially with the leadership. For example, I believe that the number one you have to know as an entrepreneur, you have to be strong in your leadership skills, not in your management skills. You can be a great manager and have a good understanding of things, but if you don't know how to lead, you will be never successful. But if you're a great leader, and maybe you're not the most experienced and educated manager, you will be still very successful. So what I realized, it's if you want to become big as a company, investments, what you have to do is really in the people. Because if I want to do something good for this world, even let's say if I would have hundreds of millions and I want to do something as a Mario, I can do something maybe in Istanbul where I'm living or in London, but it will be very limited. I can only do something big if I create a group of people who are multiplicating and leveraging this power. And I mean, we just see with Seanne and me, we are just two in the overall IKAR family, but what kind of reach we have already, I mean, she can, when you see her background from family, what she's doing today, she can already reach. We have another project. She said, well, I can easily reach the White House if necessary. So just one person is able to reach the White House if necessary, And then on the other side, there is a Mario who's on the European side who can reach maybe, if necessary, to the government, everybody in Europe. So only we two have already unbelievable power. Now, exaggerate this when you have suddenly 10, 20, 50, 100 people, 1,000 people, and all come from a very powerful background. Yeah. So for that reason, we had put people reflecting all parts of society. So suddenly you have people who are before in politics or diplomats. You have entrepreneurs. You have executives. That was all intentionally set up because all of them have an unbelievable multiplicator. And the other point was also that I was saying myself, I had created in my 30, 40 years in business, I had created an unbelievable network, which everybody is creating. But you only use it maybe 10% because you are in a very particular business working. Let's say when I was in electricity trading, what can I do with Seanne about this? But suddenly when I had created this ecosystem, because IKAR is at the end an ecosystem, we're always saying it's an ecosystem where you have on the one side an entrepreneurial investment house, then we have a service holding, and at the third we have our own NGO. It's a business think tank, which we use as our vehicle for doing something good. Now, if you multiplicate this and put all this power, knowledge, experience together, then you are creating a powerhouse which is 1,000,000 times more stronger than any money, because you can have millions, billions of money, but if you don't know people, if you don't have the knowledge, it means nothing. So that's exactly what we have set up. And this we are already realizing now, that people coming to us and say, wow, this is unbelievable what you set up. I want to be an investor where I can be part of this. So we did it absolutely way around. Yeah, normally you do an investment company. What you do? Let's say Seanne and I want to make an investment company, and if you want to put all from your own money, you go maybe first you find people with money, then you look for projects, and then you look for people who manage the investment for you. We did it totally way around. We took at first the best people you can find. Then we set up a structure. I'm a strong believer in structure from the beginning. A lot of companies are failing on their way to success, because suddenly they are realizing my structure, which is existing, is not covering now the size, for example, of my project, my company, what I'm doing. And then it's very difficult to restructure this, and this can cost then even partnerships if you do it wrong. So we are strong believer in structure. So we set up at first the best people, the best structure, and then we go out and looking to attract maybe also investors, co-investors, funds, etc.
That is fantastic because structure is very important when you're building a business. If you, like I always say, if you're building a business, and the foundation is kind of shaky, it's never going to last. It's never going to be sustainable, and it's never going to really grow. So, Seanne, tell us about some of the people you've attracted to IKAR. Not everyone is a Stanford grad, a serial entrepreneur, or a friend of someone at Anderson or Sequoia we've come to expect, but you have some very, very innovative, creative, and very smart people working there. How have you brought those folks to the team?
Sure, and the world doesn't know yet the half of it in terms of the advisory board for IKAR Sports and Entertainment. There's a real conversation here because being a Black American woman and in America, there's this focus on on DEI, which for the most part gets on my nerves because usually it's fake. It's just some words that people throw out to sound good or look good for sound bites. And you see companies like major companies like American Express, they'll tap some Black Hollywood starlet, and no offense to them, but what do they know about business, right? And then they become the head of diversity and inclusion. And so I bring that up in the context of creating my own advisory board. One of the things that I've realized is that we often, as Black people, will say, well, how come there's not, all this diversity on the advisory board in terms of race? And I have to say, in creating my own advisory board now, and having heard people say, well, I just don't know who they are, that's actually true. And it kind of goes back to what Mario was saying about, his contacts and this collective that he's created. And the foundation of it was going to the people that he knew. And Mario knows a lot of people internationally. He doesn't know the people that I know. And if he had said, I'm going to go out and I want to find some Black people, honestly, how would he find them? And how would he know them? And how would he know to trust them? He doesn't have a relationship with these people. And I know this is going to be controversial, and I can't wait to talk about this, in the future on some stage or something, because doing it now, I understand it so much better. And the people, there's some of the people that are on my board were kind of legacy, some people that Mario had brought on, which, by the way, one of them is a Black man. His name is Noah Kroom, who's involved in the NBA. He was general manager of the Timberwolves, so he's very high level in the sports arena. There's another guy who he's a white guy, and he's the former owner and GM of the Yankees. They're major people here. There's a guy who's a Rachmaninoff expert who's out of Ukraine. So there is natural diversity. And then what I've added to it now with my own flavor is, for instance, we recently added Wise Intelligent. Wise Intelligent is one of the known as one of the top rappers of all time. He was one of the original founders of Poor Righteous Teachers when rap was conscious, Right. And so not only has he done that, but what people don't know is that he's a partner in, Rap Snacks, which is a brand that's in every box store in the United States, from, Walmart to Costco. And with Master P and Rick Ross and all these big names, and underneath that foundation, they've actually created an organization using this Rap Snacks brand that is actually creating young Black entrepreneurs and has young kids, actually trading. They have their own coin called Boss Up. And so he is now part of the Icar family, and he brings so much to the table in terms of everything that I just said, but also in terms of digital currency. That's something he's deeply involved in and has a passion for. And he's someone that nobody anywhere else would even have thought of to be, on a board. And it's like when I introduced him to Mario's head is like, whoa, this is amazing. So we're already, partnering on some other things, because one of the great things about IKAR, by the way, is it's entrepreneurial. So if you know what to do, and if you know how to take advantage of this platform really, and of resources that Mario has created, there's huge opportunity there. So in addition to Wise Intelligent, I've added my good friend Keith Klingscales, who happens to be, a Harvard graduate, also a Black man. Keith ran Vibe magazine for Quincy. He ran all the media for ESPN. He was the CEO of Revolt TV, which is Diddy's company. Someone again, so he, I think probably fits the protocol, but may not have been, tapped that way. I have actually just yesterday, Rock Chin agreed to be on the board. Rock Chin is a musician. He is the highest selling musician ever in China. Wow. Ever. He does the music for DreamWorks and all kinds of other movies and opportunities. And he's, and he's actually, I want to say he might be under 40, and these are all people that I've just gotten to know, over the years. And Mark Rowan, who is has a company, he's a major producer in Hollywood. He has a company called Blue Collar Productions, and he's been involved in actually DreamWorks and a lot of big films, all the names that you would know. He actually volunteered to be on my advisory board. So, so some of it is that, it's that. And so I have probably one of the most diverse advisory boards ever, period, just ever. And it's diverse by race, it's diverse by ethnicity, it's diverse by gender, it's diverse by culture. This has never been done before, and I love it, and it's totally organic.
Sean, we got to go to commercial. I love it. I love it. So, hey, listeners, this is the Small Business Report. We'll be right back.
Get your classic soul and Motown in Soul Town. For the Detroit sound of Aretha. To the Memphis soul of Al. Let's stay together. Or the funk of James. Wow, I feel good. And the hallway harmony of the Supremes. Make sure you stop in Soul Town, Channel 49.
Dealing with car repairs can feel like a lose-lose situation. The hassle, the headaches, the cost, it's just too much. That's why I called CarShield. They're helping me save time and money. It's a win-win. CarShield's administrators make everything super easy. They handle the paperwork and expensive payments so I don't have to. CarShield saves me thousands, and I get to choose the mechanic to do the work. CarShield's administrators take care of the rest. Plans from CarShield even provide coast-to-coast roadside assistance, rental coverage, and trip reimbursement, all at no additional charge. CarShield has monthly coverage options to fit your budget, and they've helped over 1 million drivers. CarShield is a win-win. They help get me back on track when I'm in a pinch, and I'm not on the hook to pay thousands. Get coverage today and see why CarShield cars go farther. Visit carshield.com/report to save 10%. That's carshield.com/report. A deductible may apply.
Hi, this is Jermaine Johnson, Regional President for PNC Bank. At PNC, we believe that we play an important role in building strong, vibrant, more self-reliant communities. Our responsibility to help drive meaningful change has never felt more important than in this moment. Visit pnc.com/diversity to learn more. The PNC Financial Services Group, Inc., all rights reserved.
Welcome back to the Small Business Report here on Sirius XM Channel 141. We have Sean Murray and Mario Diel on from IKAR. And let me tell you, folks, this conversation has been so fantastic. I got to have them back on again because they are really telling us what it is. And really, they are game changers. Listen and pay attention to what they're saying. I have been writing notes down in the studio listening to them. And hey, Mario, the so-called experts tend to forget that technology is just a tool. It takes visionaries and evangelists to help us adapt and use tools in the right way. What is the unicorn role in this?
I mean, as I said, the unicorn is much bigger, even in my opinion, than IKAR. IKAR itself will become, of course, a big group. Our aim is, we had never talked so far about it, so our aim is to make IKAR in the next 10 years at least a $100 billion group, if more, even very much welcomed, because at the end, as I said, we want to do something really good and do something for the betterment of this world. And the more money you have, the more you can, of course, do in a good way. So at the end, the unicorn is, as I said, much more than IKAR itself. We want really to change the business world. And in the moment you change the business world, you change in a way also the world of the human. I mean, when you look to companies, to big, especially big corporates, they're always talking about, the human is for us the number one. Our employees are so serious and important, but the reality is not like this. It's this, in a way, it's even the same when people talking now about ESG and all these big companies, we are investing now in ESG. But at the end, let's be honest, it's more like a fashion, because they are doing it because it is a new business field where they can make money. And that's not with us. We are also not taking people, for example, into IKAR who are just seeing this as an opportunistic vehicle where they have access, let's say, to interesting people, to interesting projects, and can maybe make some small money. They are not right with us. Whoever signed with us an agreement, either it's a partner, either it's an executive level or even an employee, he has to commit at least a couple of years with us because we have a long-term vision with IKAR. And as I said, IKAR is just a forerunner of this new, let's say, setup. And we hope that hundreds, thousands of unicorns coming more. And at the end, maybe to bring it on an easy point, why I personally, and Sean is 100% also with me in the same, we are the biggest aim for us is really, and what we want to do is to support these young people. I told you with the Institute, we have launched an initiative which is called 1 Million Future Leaders. Because when you talk about impact, it's the young people. And when you look to big organizations, even the World Economic Forum, they are having these programs, the best 30 under 30, the best 40 under 40, and we change the world. What a bullshit. How you change with 30 people something? You change something when you have at least 1 million. That was the idea why we say we want to support, find and support, educate 1 million future leaders. And this is our biggest aim. We want to support these young people because the main message, what I want to give, and this is in a way also the unicorn, when you look today in the media world, in the business world, in the politics world, you get the impression when you are young, sorry for my French, you have to be a bad guy, an asshole to become successful. And I'm believing that you can be successful also, and not also, you can be successful when you are a nice person. Because I believe that we are nice people. Sean is a very nice people. I recognize myself as a nice human, and we are successful. So you have not to be a bad person to become successful. And this is the main message we want not only to give to the young people, we want to spread around the world. That we are saying, look, in the moment you work professional and you work hard and you believe in something good, you will be successful. There is no question at all, because I believe in karma and in good energy, because at the end, I'm a strong believer that energy is at the end the driver of everything. And if you have a positive energy, the world is positive. And that's the unicorn. We are positive. We want to change the world to something better. And if you want to join us, whoever wants to join us, you're very much welcome.
Well, let me tell you, and you don't have to be a bad guy to be a great leader. And we've seen that with a lot of people. And you just look at Martin Luther King. But I worked at a company one time that they flew us to this big, all-employee gathering in another state and put us up in this great hotel, and it was a wonderful experience. And then that Monday when we got back to the office, about 30% of the people were gone that were even at the event. And I was like, wow, that was a waste of money. You flew all these people out there and then you terminated their employment before we got back. That didn't make any sense at all. And so when folks are talking about, people are their biggest asset, like you said, Mario, they don't believe it themselves. It's what they can squeeze out of you, and that's why we got the Great Resignation. So, but, let's talk about, it's easy to throw money at a problem, and Sean, this is for you. It's harder to find quality people to solve the problem, money or not. Why don't we value that more? And so, how is it that you're incorporating that kind of thinking into your line of business?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I think in terms of, everything comes down to, right, we said, keep talking about it over and over again, valuing people. And, I can think about in my own experience that a lot of times in corporate environments, even in my legal environment, there's a fear. There's a fear amongst the people that work there, a fear of competitiveness rather than embracing competitiveness or not even thinking of it as competitive, but thinking of it as additive. So, I can remember being, a young lawyer in Philadelphia. I worked at a big firm called Mesra, Gelman, Jaffe, Kramer, and Jameson, where eventually the governor, Rendell, actually, when I joined that firm, he was a partner at that firm, and he was just moving into politics. And the firm did a lot of SEC work and such. And, I was a first-year associate, and I knew a lot of people in Philadelphia,
That's right.
So what would happen is there would be these events with these politicians and what have you. And at the time, my father was a big executive with Coca-Cola that was owned by Bruce Llewellyn and Dr. J. So,
Oh, I know that well.
Yes, I mean, we I knew people, and I had friends even my age who were big in politics. And so what I'm saying is I would show up at these events, and I can remember the partners of the firm looking at me like, what is she doing here? And rather than embracing the fact that I'm here.
That's right.
And it's funny when you look at what has happened in the legal profession. Of course, when I first started, my first job, I'm making $60,000. I actually had an office, in one of the tallest building in Philadelphia. You don't see that stuff anymore. And now what people recognize about law is also entrepreneur. It's an entrepreneurial effort, because guess what you have to do? You have to bring in business.
That's right.
So like that job that I got then, where I got paid, to be a lawyer, I got paid to learn. Really, it's kind of an apprenticeship when you get there. And I had the natural, organic ability to help that firm build business, and they couldn't see that in me.
So let me ask you, because I see a new management book in the works on this whole Humicorn philosophy. Let's talk about that.
I think, Mario, you and we should write that book together. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I love the philosophy.
Absolutely. I mean, what Seanne had said, it's a complex. It's also not. Let's be honest. It's also not an easy answer. It's not like we change now the world with one sentence. So if you ask me how you change this world, and I give you one sentence as an answer, it's of course complex, because the human itself is also very complex, of course. So at the end, it has, of course, a complexity. But when you put the human at first and then put everything around it, and you mean it honestly, I think that's the most important. You have to mean it honestly. Like you just said, your examples, you have to really mean it honestly, and that's with everything. If you mean something honest, then you will be successful. And that's the case here. So we want to turn this around. We want to embrace, we want to engage the young people, which we are doing also. I mean, we have very young people in leadership roles. One big group of us is now under the leadership of a 25-year-old guy who comes in from Ukraine, which again shows that we are very global. The Secretary General is a young guy from India, 30 years old. The head of our office is a girl from Egypt. She's just 25 years old. And when you meet them, you will see they're unbelievably smart. And when you see what these young kids had learned in the last 2 years, because they were permanently every day with me and Seanne, they are now having a knowledge, I would say, maybe from somebody who is 40 or 50, because they had, in such a compensated time, they learned so much. And this is the best example. And this is exactly what we write the book about, how you turn the theoretical philosophies, what you all learn in university, how you put this into real life, mix it together, bring it on a human level, and then you create a completely new business model, which is impossible to fail.
Well, look, Mario.
So the book is the case study, and I have to just say this: Americans need to catch up. Young American kids need to catch up.
They do. But look, Seanne, Mario, this has been a wonderful interview. Thank you, and thank you for all that you're doing. Hey folks, we'll be back next week with vital information that will help you grow your business. You're listening to the Small Business Report here with Carl Brown on Sirius XM Channel 141.
You've been listening to the Small Business Report, powered by PNC Bank, your weekly access to all the tools you need to succeed. with your host, Carl Brown, State Executive Director of the District of Columbia Small Business Development Center. Stay tuned to HUR Voices, Sirius XM, Channel 141, every Tuesday and Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, and Fridays at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific, for expert advice from business owners, subject matter experts, and government agencies. Each week, you'll learn tips on how to start, grow, and finance your business. The Small Business Report is supported by the DC Small Business Development Center, a partnership program nationally accredited by the Association of America's SBDCs and funded by the U.S. Small Business Administration, Howard University, with Howard University serving as the network's headquarters. The Small Business Report on HUR Voices, Sirius XM Channel 141.